Welcome back to Not Gambling Advice, the baseball betting stream. It's a new stream on the Just Baseball Network, and it's a competition. It's me versus all the best MLB cappers I could find. What's today's date? It is Monday, April 17th, and we have a lot of those cappers coming on to give their picks. But again, it's a competition. And whoever wins the most units at the end of the season, we're tracking everybody courtesy of the Pickett Sports app. Whoever has the most units by the end of the season will win World Series tickets. Second place gets a $500 cash prize. Root for me, because if I win, a subscriber of this Twitch channel is getting those World Series tickets. And even if I finish second, someone's getting a $500 cash prize who subscribes to this Twitch channel. Today, we're going to go over the model. We're going to go over my three favorite picks on BetMGM, and we have a promo on BetMGM currently running. Use code JBFans. That's JBFANS. If you wager $10 on any money line on BetMGM, you get $100 in bonus bets. It's an absolute no-brainer. If you are going to be wagering on MLB games this season, use the king of sportsbooks in BetMGM and use code JBFans. When you wager $10, you're going to get $100 in bonus bets. We got a lot to take care of today. Again, the model, game picks. But first, let's do a quick recap of how we did on Friday. Right? I mean, Houston through the first five money line got boat raced by the Rangers. Thanks a lot. Miami Marlins, no sweat winner. They absolutely destroyed Madison Bumgarner. Baltimore, real tough. 1-0, lost by a run. That was pain. But Seattle, right? Destroyed the Colorado Rockies. And how about a little sprinkle on the Tigers? Why not us? Tigers money line on the season so far. On stream, we are plus 3.17 units. On the year right now, I'm about a little bit more than 3 units. But again, we are tracking picks on stream. So, a lot of cappers, they might have 1 p.m. plays, 4 p.m. plays. It's only picks that you can tail. I mean, it's not gambling advice, but only picks that you can tail, right? To make it most fair, we'll go over where the line moves. We're going to ask people how they did. But first, let's go over some of my plays, right? It's my show. Let's go over my 3 plays, and they're all disgusting. They're all underdogs, and I love them. People are asking, what's your confidence level? I would never give you a pick if I didn't have full confidence in it. I would never do that. I'm not going to just throw picks against the board and be like, oh, maybe it might hit. No, we're rolling. 3 underdogs on Sunday. If you follow me on Twitter, if you follow the website, TikTok, all that kind of stuff. Pirates first 5 money line? Yes. A's first 5 money line? Push. But we didn't lose on the A's, which is huge. That's even better than winning, I think. Not losing on the A's versus winning a bet. Give me not losing any day of the week. All right. First play of the day. Reds. Oh, I love this play. I love this play for multiple reasons. First, we're only targeting the first 5 innings. I don't have confidence that the Reds are going to win the full game. I mean, I do think they win the full game, but not enough to bet on it. I feel like the edge is early on in the game. The starting pitching matchup, it's Jalen Beeks, who will be an opener for the Tampa Bay Rays, facing off against Hunter Green, the hard-throwing righty who's at home. Now, this is obviously a lopsided pitching matchup, right? But the Reds are underdogs, and it's for good measure. The Rays are way better than the Reds. But the edge here favors the Cincinnati Reds, right? The Reds, how do they win ball games? When they play at home and they play a lefty. And Jalen Beeks is a left-handed pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's not going to go long, but after him, and I got to look up his name because I sometimes forget who's going to be coming in after him, it's Cooper Criswell, who's a career minor leaguer, 26 years old, plays for the Durham Bulls, but just got called up today because they need a couple more guys. The Reds are a Major League Baseball team who can hit lefties, and then they're going to face Cooper Criswell, who had a 20 ERA. He threw 1 1/3, gave up 3 earned when he was on the Angels, then went to the Rays, threw a couple of innings and had a 3.70 ERA and 3 2/3. He's a career minor leaguer. But the reason I like this is because Jalen Beeks is about to face a lineup for the Reds that's almost fully right-handed. And this season, he has allowed a 905 OPS, which is on-base plus slugging, to right-handed bats. That's not good. A 900 OPS is not good. But 286 left-handed bats. That's insanely good. He's great at getting out lefties, but luckily for us, the Reds are a mostly right-handed lineup. And Cooper Criswell is just simply not that good. And if we know that the Rays struggle against high velocity, we've seen it this season, we've seen it in prior seasons. And when you look at Hunter Green, 100 miles an hour, deadly slider, and the last time he pitched against the Tampa Bay Rays, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. Now, we've seen the Reds line jump a ton, right? I got it at plus 115. It moved to plus 125. Now on BetMGM, it's down to plus 105. A lot of movement, even though everyone and their mother is hammering the Tampa Bay Rays. And for good measure, they're 13-2, 14-2. I don't know. But another thing that has the Reds having a little bit of an edge is there's a little bit of travel here, right? Rays got to travel from Toronto to Cincinnati, no off day. I think the bats could be a little bit slow against a pitcher they really don't have much success against because he throws so hard. If you guys know Javon, Javon's the milkman. Javon knows his Rays like the back of his hand. I was texting him about it this morning, and his one point was saying, I don't blame you for taking the Reds. The Rays really struggle against high velocity. And there's nobody who throws harder in Major League Baseball than Hunter Green. I think it's a good matchup considering it's plus money. We're not taking the Reds bullpen. We're not fading the Rays bullpen. What we're doing is we're fading a lefty early on, which the Reds can hit, and then we're fading a career minor leaguer against Hunter Green where the Reds are at home and they're plus money. I know it's a gross pick, but the Rays ain't free today. The 88% of tickets, 90% of the money, we'll see, right? They're giving you a discount on the Rays today. But I don't think the books are being that nice to us. Although BetMGM is the king of sports books, they ain't being nice to you. They ain't. So give me the Reds through the first 5 on the money line. Remember, we don't have to cap the bullpens. All we got to look is 2 particular matchups. How are the Reds going to hit against a lefty opener and a career minor leaguer against Hunter Green, who objectively has great stuff, and I get the Reds at home as a dog who have been playing well, and they just got boat raced by the Phillies. I love them on a bounce back. What did the Rays do yesterday? Won 8-1. We love those type of matchups. We love buying low. Remember, we find value and we pounce. And the Reds have value today. Give me the Reds. Next pickup, who we got? Royals. So the only reason I'm worried about this game is because it might get rained out. But I don't think it's going to. It might, but what can we do? If it gets rained out, we just don't have a bet. Another gross pick, right? Rangers, they just got off that Sunday Night Baseball series. They're playing really well. They just beat the Astros on Sunday Night Baseball. Everyone saw them, and now you have Jacob deGrom on the mound. It must be free money, right? Right? No. I'm going to go with the Kansas City Royals today, plus 180 on the money line. Now, it's Jordan Lyles against Jacob deGrom. Seems like an incredible mismatch. But this game was just played in Texas a week ago. Jacob deGrom versus Jordan Lyles in Texas, where the Rangers have been better. 8-5, but not 8-5 in the way you might think. 8-5 in extra innings, right? Jordan Lyles gave up 4, Jacob deGrom gave up 2. And the Royals did lose, but it was in extra innings. This is the system play, right? We do this every Monday. You'll see me every Monday fade the team, the road team, coming off Sunday Night Baseball. It is a trend in baseball that has been extremely popular. And by popular, I mean profitable. It's not very popular because not a lot of people know about it. But it's something I will hang my hat on with hat hair and say, no matter what, I fade it. Because it's a 60% system. And when I have a dog of plus 180, I have to take it. Now, the Royals are a Major League Baseball team, we can't forget. And Jacob deGrom is a amazing pitcher. But we're not taking them through the first 5. It's not a fade on deGrom. It's really because I don't like how the Rangers manage their bullpen. Because against the Astros, this was like their World Series, right? This was the most important series for them. It's the Lone Star Series. They've been owned by the Astros. So they threw all their bullpen guys out of there because they don't care. They're facing the lowly Royals. But the Royals ain't so lowly today. So normally you don't see 4 of your 5 best relief pitchers being thrown in a blowout. But that's what the Rangers did. 20-plus pitches out of Brock Burke, 20-plus pitches out of Will Smith. Hernandez, Spores, they also threw 15 pitches, and Spores threw 26 the night before. So while the Rangers are a better team than the Royals, Jacob deGrom, if we remember, with the Mets, won 52.4% of his starts. He's one of the most profitable pitchers to bet against because the lines are always crazy, crazy overvalued. You see Jacob deGrom and you say, all right, Rangers by 2. It ain't that easy, right? Remember that season when he was with the Mets where he went 10-9? The Rangers are a good team, but again, no Corey Seager in the lineup still. And Jordan Lyles, he is also a better pitcher at home historically. I like the Royals 1 unit to win 1.8 units on the Kansas City Royals money line. I think they win today. Their bullpen is saved up. It's not a great bullpen, but neither is the Rangers, and the Rangers have been using them all in this series against the Astros. I like the Royals as a huge dog today. I know it's gross. But the Rangers and that Sunday Night Baseball system, just to repeat it, it's the road team. They have to travel after Sunday Night Baseball. And the system makes sense, right? You're on Sunday Night Baseball, packed game, and then you have all these interviews post-game. Then you got to fly. And where do the Astros have to fly to? They have to go from Houston to Kansas City. It's a decently long flight. And I don't think the Bats show up today. Give me the Royals plus 180. Third pick on the slate, Houston. A little sip of water because I'm screaming about Kansas City Royals money line. Okay. Why are we taking the Houston Astros today? Well, they're underdogs. Why? Right? And I was talking about this morning on my podcast. This line opened at minus 110. Minus 110. I think it's about even. But the Blue Jays have been playing really good baseball, right? In front of everyone, they ruined the Rays streak. They're on a roll. And Kevin Gausman is a really good pitcher, but so is Christian Javier. And then, so I was watching this line, of course, because I wanted to see how the Astros would perform on Sunday Night Baseball and whether to tail or fade, right? If the Astros win by 10, like the Rangers did yesterday, maybe I reconsider. But the fact that they got blown out makes me want to take them even more. My brain is messed up, but my brain has produced tons of units in the past. And I like to tail teams who just got blown out. Reds being an example. Rangers just blew out the Astros. Now we're fading them. Baseball bounces back and forth like that. And this line opened at minus 110. Astros get blown out on Sunday Night Baseball in front of everybody. And then they went to plus 105. Why? Vegas handicapped the game as a pick'em. And then because they got blown out in front of everybody, now they're underdogs? Doesn't make much sense to me, right? I don't know if it makes sense to you. It doesn't make sense to me. And we've also seen some line movement in our general direction, right? Down to plus 100 currently on BetMGM. As long as they're plus money, I'm taking them. And we look at this specific matchup. Kevin Gausman, one of my favorite pitchers in Major League Baseball. Doesn't walk anybody, strikes out the world. Always going to have like lower peripherals. He's a very good pitcher. But my issue is with the Blue Jays offense, because if you look at Gausman, one of the league leaders in lack of run support. Jose Barrios, right? Terrible. 5.2 ERA last year. Went 12-7. Gausman, 12-10. Ask a Blue Jays fan. They don't tend to show up on offense for Kevin Gausman, and they have to travel from Canada to Houston. That's a big travel day, right? And they're going to face Christian Javier. And the Blue Jays are a really good team against fastballs. And Christian Javier, you see that? Louisiana, Bayou. He's got an electric fastball and he's got an amazing slider. This is a tough matchup for the Blue Jays considering the Astros have the bullpen advantage. Now, the Blue Jays have the better lineup. But I'd like to see them hit Christian Javier's fastball today. He's a nasty pitcher. Remember that no-hitter in the World Series? And I just don't understand the line flip, right? I'm going to tail an angry Astros team where people are giving up on them against the Toronto Blue Jays, who everybody loves right now, and for good reason. They're great. But the Astros are the Astros, and they're going to heat up here. And I think a series against the Blue Jays, where they're underdogs, is the perfect time for them to ignite. Now, I'm not taking them through the first 5 because I do love Kevin Gausman. But the Blue Jays bullpen has been used a ton against the Rays. That was a big series for them. They gave it their all. Also, Jordan Romano, day-to-day, got hit in the ribs. He's supposed to play, but he's not 100%. Considering the Astros are dogs here, where the line opened at minus 110, which is where it should be. This should be a pick-em, but the fact we get dogs, we're finding value, right? And the Astros have plenty of value today. Big fan of the Astros. I think they pull off the win. Astros got to sleep in their own beds last night. They got to sit with that loss against the Rangers where they just got blown out. It's like, who are you? I'm calling you out, Astros. You are a better team than this. Fact that I get them as a dog, no-brainer bet for me. That I was hoping they'd lose on Sunday Night Baseball so I could bet the Astros. And then the books made an adjustment, and I don't agree with the adjustment. Give me the Astros. Any questions on Twitch before we move into the model? Producer Cowan. Where did I put my water bottle? Right here. I'm faded. I was looking at Tuesday. Hunter Green Masterclass inbound. Rangers winning today. Could be. Tailing Jacob deGrom. You're taking him right after they just won 9-1. It's possible. I don't see it. I'm on the Royals today at plus 180. If you want to lay juice, minus 220 on the Rangers, be my guest. But I will not be doing that. So let's go to the model because we have a couple of games that I want to talk about today. Remember, we are bringing out the model. It includes park factors, game simulation, and a matchup machine in order to give us a starting point on games. A starting point. It's not everything, but it can kind of show value on some specific games. All right, let's move to our first one. We got the Pittsburgh Pirates versus the Colorado Rockies. And this game is fascinating for a couple of reasons because a guy like Kyle Freeland, he might be a model breaker. He's only throwing 87 miles an hour, and yet he's got an ERA under 1. The guy's just not allowing runs right now. And the model sees value on the Pirates, and I understand. But I also wanted to bring up this game because it shows a ton of value on the under. And it doesn't really make sense, right? Because the Pirates' better split is against lefties. When we're looking at the Colorado Rockies, their better split is against lefties. You'd expect both of these guys, they're not very good, that for runs to be scored throughout the game. But the Pirates have a pretty decent bullpen, and Kyle Freeland has been pretty good. I'm not saying take the under, but what I am saying is, and why we bring up the model, is to show you where the model is showing value so then you can go do your own research and look closer into the game and see if the model is crazy or if they might be on to something. Now, the model has been very helpful this year because there have been plenty of games where we've gone over and everyone's on one side and the model is showing value on the other side. And I'm saying don't take the side that everybody's on. Everyone loves the Rockies. Everyone loves the over. Maybe the Pirates win this one. Maybe it goes under. I'm not saying I'm betting on it, but what I am saying is before you bet the Rockies, before you bet the over, do a little bit more research. All right, let's move on to the second game on the model. Second game on the model, who are we looking at? Ooh, this game is fascinating. This shot out, right? I mean, look at that for a second. They think the Brewers should be slight dogs in this spot against Chris Flexen. And it's Corbin Burns of all people. Why are they showing value on the Mariners? I have no idea. And I'm not taking the Mariners. But what this could mean is maybe don't take the Brewers. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, you could make the argument Brewers are on travel. Maybe their bats come out slow. But Chris Flexen just isn't that great of a pitcher. Right? He's the Mariners' 5th starter. Oftentimes a 6th starter when they're all fully healthy, right? Because Robbie Ray's on the IL. So Chris Flexit is more doing like mop-up duties, more swingman type roles, but he's getting the start today. And the model, as you can tell, likes the under. Thinks the line should be closer to 6.5. Basically, what the model is telling you is that the Brewers' bats are not going to show up today. I don't know. I don't know about that one. But, for example, let's go to BetMGM right now. I'm going to go to BetMGM right now, and I'm going to look at what the Brewers' team total is. Because the Brewers' team total, let's say it's at 4.5, 5.5, could be a sneaky under. Maybe it's plus money. Why don't we take a look? All right. Let's see. Milwaukee Brewers. Line is at 7.5 on the full game. How many runs will the Milwaukee Brewers score? Interesting. Under 4.5 is minus 140. Interesting. Not great value there, but what it is saying is that the model loves that play and thinks it's worth it to lay 1.4 units to win a unit. Again, I'm not going to do it, but maybe it's something to look into. That's why we go over the model, right? Just to give you kind of a view on each individual game in order to show you where there could potentially be value. What's your mindset on cashing out bets that wind up get caught in rain delays? It's hard to cash out on those type of plays. It really is. I never like to cash out. Like, I roll with the play regardless. And I know we're going to have a lot of cappers like Tomas, who has been on fire. He gave a great speech about never cashing out no matter what. Something to consider, but I'm not a big cash out guy. But again, ask more questions in the chat, and I'll feel free to answer them. Cronenbaum incoming? Possible. Model likes the under in that game. And CJ Cron is much better at Coors Field, and this should be a great matchup for him, but thoughts on Luzardo and the Marlins? We'll talk about that in a little bit. How about right now? Look at that. Look at that. Right? Marlins, they love them. I don't know if I love them, though. The model certainly has a hard-on. They think they win 66.2% of matchups, basically implying the line should be closer to 200. Now, that's a huge adjustment. And I don't really know what to tell you guys. But what I will say is Logan Webb is a heavy sinker guy. And guys like Jorge Soler, guys like Garrett Cooper, they hit sinkers really well. And the Giants have been dreadful against left-handed pitching. But while the model loves the Marlins open up at around minus 130 and have dropped to minus 120. And if we look at some betting splits, a lot of people are hammering the Marlins today. So the model loves the Marlins, but we see reverse line movement. That's why for me, I ain't following that reverse line movement towards the Giants, but I'm also not tailing the Marlins. And what I also find interesting about this too is that the model shows some slight value on the over. Not a lot, but some slight value. And if we go to that game on BetMGM and look at where the total is, the total for Marlins versus Giants is, where is this freaking game? It's now at 7, right? Which is interesting. Could we see an over possibly be in play here? Because I do think this game is so fascinating. Producer Cohen, what do you think about this Marlins-Giants game? You see the value on the Marlins, but it is the Marlins. And Logan Webb has been a better pitcher than Luzardo, but Luzardo is pitching much better. What do you think?
66% scary, I think.
Scary.
Nobody should be winning 66%.
It's a big-ass line, especially when it's minus 120. Like, that shot out at me, and I was too afraid to take it because I don't love it. But I'm not taking the Giants, that's for sure. What do you think? He has no idea is basically what he's saying. I have no idea either. It's such a tough game. That's why, like, if you put a gun to my head, give me the Marlins, but I hate going against reverse line movement. What's the line currently right now on BetMGM? -120. Yeah, it ain't budging. It ain't budging, which I hate. That's why the game is so tough. And we have 7.5 down to 7, but the model is slightly leaning towards the over. The model just could be wrong here. But the model is pretty sturdy. It's pretty sturdy. Do we have anybody in queue ready for picks? Oh, we got Colby Olson. Maybe it's time to talk to Professor Colby and hear what he's got on his slate today. This is the time. Remember, we bring on cappers. They give their picks. Maybe they'll be against me. Maybe they'll be with me. They got plays in different games. This is why I love this stream so much, is because we talk about every game on the slate. And we bring up Colby, our first contestant. Our first contestant. Professor Colby Olson, how are you, my friend? So you took the weekend off from picks. Get your mind right. How are you feeling? Scale of 9 to 10. Okay, we love that. We love that. So winners are going to arrive because...
They say they can't hear him in the chat.
Oh, they can't hear you in the chat. I can hear you. One sec.
It's on me.
I can hear you. It's them. Talk.
Yeah, you got me.
You should. People in the chat, let us know. There we go. Yes,
right,
you're back.
We're good.
You're back. All right.
I love it.
So transparency is key, and Colby is coming off. On Thursday's stream, you won 2 units. Then on Friday's stream, you lost 3. So now we got to make that back.
If you go back to last week, it was crazy. Like Monday, I went down.
Yeah, you went up.
Tuesday went up.
You went up 4.25,
up
4.25, down 3.45, up 2.3, down 1.7, up 2.1, down 3.05. So history says these are bangers. But you only have one play because your second play got rained out today. It was Guardians Tigers. So we won't worry about that one. What I do want to talk about is the fade of Merrill Kelly. Cardinals through the first 5 innings, -0.5 at -105. I'm surprised by you. Jack Flaherty,
funny thing here is that I have been a big Jack Flaherty fader and hater for a long time. I mean, going back to last year and even before that, I have not been aboard the Jack Flaherty hype train. There was even talk long ago about, oh, Jack Flaherty's like the next guy up, next ace up, right? I just never saw that. And so today we have a very weird matchup here, Pete, right? You have Jack Flaherty and Merrill Kelly, who are both pitchers dealing with the same things this year, right? They're both pitchers that have walked an absurd amount of guys. They're also 2 pitchers that have been very lucky, right? Jack Flaherty has a 1.76 ERA. He has a 5.41 FIP and a 3.79 expected ERA. Then you go over to Merrill Kelly.
3.79 expected ERA is pretty solid, though. Like the FIP, yes, because that will, like, they hate if you walk guys. But the batted ball data, it's still solid. Like, it's still solid.
And we'll get to that. We'll get to that, yep. So, like, Merrill Kelly, on the other hand, you have a guy that has a 2.93 ERA, but a 6.93 expected ERA and a 4.76 FIP. He's walking more than 7 per 9. Flaherty's the same. He's walking more than 8 per 9 so far. But in Jack Flaherty's last start, Pete, didn't walk or just walked a single batter against Colorado. In the outings before that, yeah, he walked 6, he walked 7, but he looked better command-wise last time out, which is very encouraging to me, especially in cores. And then you look at the stuff that Flaherty's been working with this year. His four-seam fastball is actually more like a cutter this year. So has not been a bad pitch for him this year, a 347 expected WOBA against that pitch, but it's his secondaries that I have faith in this matchup, right? The slider has a 30% whiff rate, has not been hit well. The curveball has a 36% whiff rate, has also not been hit well. I think he will be able, if he's able to throw strikes in this matchup, to the Diamondbacks, I think he will fare well, especially because the Diamondbacks have the lowest walk rate in baseball, Pete. 4.9% walk rate so far. The next lowest team is at 6.1%. So this is a team that just does not walk. The Diamondbacks also have not been hitting the ball well. They have the, I believe, fifth lowest WRC plus in baseball right now. The Cardinals have been hitting the ball hard, but have actually cooled off from a very hot start. But I think that there's no reason they can't turn that around now. This lineup is still this lineup, right? Tyler O'Neill's back healthy. Lars Nootbaar is back healthy. Like, this lineup is actually at full strength for the first time in like 2.5 weeks. So I'm really expecting the Cardinals to jump out here early on Merrill Kelly, and I'm basically putting my chips behind Jack Flaherty not walking 6 or 7 guys. Like, if he can put up, 5 innings of 1 to 2 run ball, I think that the Cardinals win this game.
But last time he walked 7 guys, he gave up no hits. Couple things that'll help your case here. If we look at batted ball data against Merrill Kelly for the St. Louis Cardinals, just to add on to what you're saying, because I agree with you, 395 xWOBA against the Cardinals' current roster, 280 expected batting average, 571 expected slugging. So when the Cardinals face Merrill Kelly, they hit the ball really hard. Now, Flaherty, 16 plate appearances against the Diamondbacks' current roster. It's so small, but they haven't done anything. 153 expected batting average, 195 xWOBA, 325 xslug. Cardinals don't have to travel. They just played that series against the Pirates. Diamondbacks just played the series in Miami, a little bit of a travel for them. Maybe bats come out slow, Flaherty looks better, and Merrill Kelly's due for regression. It's a pretty good play.
I really like it, Pete. I really, really like it. I had the under in the Tigers Guardians game, but yeah, obviously that got rained out. I did want to talk to you about one game quickly that I don't think you brought up on the model discussion. Is this Brewers Mariners game?
Oh, we did.
Very interesting.
Well, that was one of the model plays that the model likes the under and kind of likes the Mariners. Thoughts on that?
To me are close. Like, I would
Wait, sorry, start
Brewers.
over. I think your audio cut out at the beginning of your sentence. Just what were you saying?
Oh, did it? Okay, am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's just weird to me with Chris Flexen, who struggled last time out mightily. Corbin Burns looks amazing right now. And these lineups, to me, are very, very close. Very close. So to me, I see this immediately, and I go right towards the Brewers. So I'm just a bit surprised by the model, but we'll just have to see it play out.
Isn't that interesting, though? I was shocked by that because I was like, why are the books valuing Burns this low? And then I was like, because I was going to be on the Brewers. Like, that's why I like the model, right? Because the model, you can love a play, and if the model's like, that play sucks, then it's like, all right, let me do more research into this. I have to be very, very sure about this. And I did more research into it, and I was like, I'm not very sure. So while it went from I want to play the Brewers to now I just lean the Brewers. And I'm not going to play it. We'll see what happens, right? I could have my brain could have been right. Brewers win by 30. And we're like, all right, happens. But at the same time, you lay juice on the Brewers and Mariners win outright, and you're like, oh, why didn't I trust the model? That's why it's a good starting point just to see where you're at. But anything else pique your interest? Producer Cohn, do we have anyone else in queue right now?
We do.
Okay. Yeah, just give us one more kind of lean of where you're looking at. If there's anything else because I know you had 2 plays today. There's no way you didn't have a third where you were like, I'm just not going to play it.
I do have one, Pete.
I knew it because today you're due. Tomorrow you're going to suck based on historical trends. But today you're so due, and I want to soak all of it in.
I really did like the Cubs, and it was hard for me not to take the Cubs today because I've tailed Wesneski in 2 straight starts, and he's blown up in 2 straight starts. Now he gets the A's like in such a get-right spot. They should beat up on Kyle Muller. The Cubs should win this game through the first 5 handedly. And the model really likes it as well, Pete. The line on MGM or on DraftKings, that is minus 135 according to the model, but the model likes it as a minus 175. I mean, Cubs is not a bad play. I'm just being a little bit soft here, and I can't trust Wesneski yet.
I don't think you're being soft. I think you're being realistic that Wesneski looks different than he did last year, and we have to take a closer look at him before it's kind of a blind tail, because he's a guy who's undervalued by the market. Last year was great for us and looks different. Like Alek Manoah looks different. Miles Michaelis looks different. Like some of these guys, year over year, they look worse or better. And like we have to reconsider. So I appreciate you coming on. We got to get to our next contestant, but Cardinals through the first 5 on the money line. This is the day where you're hot. Minus a half. Excuse me. This is when you get hot. Thank you, Colby. Appreciate you, my friend. Talk to you soon.
This kid has asked with us, what's the model's record?
Oh, yeah. What's the model's record, and did you make it? 2 good questions. First, model doesn't have a record. It just shows value on every game. I used it last year, and last year we were up 44 units. But again, I don't tail everything. The model shows value. It's going to show value on every game in different places. Sometimes it doesn't. But like, let's say we have 15 games. It's going to show value one way or the other on 12 of them. And then that's like a good starting point. Like, all right, showing value in this game. Let me do research into that. Oh, I like this play, and it says that's a crap play. Maybe reconsider. That's what it should be used for. So it doesn't have a record. And then how is it made? Our guy, Aaron, we're working with them at Ballpark Pal. Really, really smart guy. Him and I have Zooms all the time where we go over what data they're putting into the model. So I know the ins and outs of the model. I would never just use some random application and just be like, oh, it's showing value. Like, I know what goes into the model. I agree with what goes into the model, and I like it. And I would never like show it to you if I didn't know what's in it. A lot of spin rates. They simulate the game thousands of times in order to show value on what the simulations have. Simulation has weather reports. It simulates launch angle, spin rates, tons of stuff, release point, a lot of different stuff. It's not just, oh, this guy's a high batting average, so in the simulation, he's going to get a lot of hits. Remember, different release points. Guys do different off different pitches. It's a lot of that kind of stuff. And I think it's a good model. All right, let's go move on to our guy, Jake Hazen, the man, the myth, the legend. Little mustache.
Yes, sir.
Jake Hazen doesn't lose for us. Nope. You've been on stream 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days. You have 1 losing day.
Damn. Pretty
Not
solid.
bad.
Not bad.
Take it. We'll take it.
Been kind of a cold streak on the Twitter, though. We're down like 3 units last 7 days. So a little transparency there. We got to heat up a little bit. But
It is the baseball season. Like, it's going to be like this. Like, there's no way we can make a unit every day. You and I spoke, too. It's like, if you make half a unit a day,
a unit a week, you're up 24 units.
a unit a week, you're up 24 units. You turn $100 bettors return into $2,400 watching baseball a year. If you make a unit a week. And you're up, what, 20 units on the year so far?
Yeah, we got some units to burn. It's probably a horrible way to say it, but
You know what's crazy, too? You and I talk every time. I started off kind of slow, right? I'm up like 3.5 units on the year. At the end of May, I was up 6 units and I made 44 units on the year because I went up 19 units in April, down 13 units in May. So if I'm up 7 or 8 units by the end of May, I'm actually on my trajectory, because where I make money is the dog days of summer, because I got all my data. And you've been killing it right now. That's why I like to talk back and forth with you. Let's start with your first play. Ooh,
only play.
Only play. And we're going with an under through the first 5. Miami versus San Francisco. Logan Webb, Jesus Zardo. Tell us why.
Well, actually, believe it or not, I sniped this play at this number last night at plus 120.
Ooh.
So I got wicked CLB on my side, but let me tell you why I like it. So first off, it's about Logan Webb. So he's facing a Marlins lineup that ranks 5th in ground ball rate against right-hander pitchers, and Logan Webb is a ground ball pitcher, if people who do not know that. So it's to his side, but his K rate and his chase rate's been up this season. So the Marlins, their team against right-hander bats, they chase and they K a lot. And the good thing about Logan Webb as well is that he doesn't push any walks. So this team, he creates chase. This team chases a lot. Induces a lot of ground balls. That's what he does. And he doesn't walk anybody. His team doesn't walk in the first place. So a guy who doesn't walk anybody that's been getting chased, he's 69th percentile in chase rate this year. Nice. I think
Nice.
he's a really, really good matchup today. I think he gets a lot of Ks. I think he kind of dices up this Marlins lineup. Granted, yeah, he does throw a sinker. So a lot of these guys hit pretty hard, but like outside of the Cooper and Soler, like I'm not too worried. And I think Soler's another guy too, has a lot of chase in his swing. So I think Logan Webb has a pretty good matchup this game. I mean, he's got an ERA of 4.76 right now. xERA is 3.94. Hasn't looked too good to start this season, but I think he's going to ramp up here. I think this is a good start and a really good matchup for him.
So I was looking at and the reason I'm on my phone is I'm looking at the Marlins lineup. I just wanted to confirm. I mean, it doesn't look good. Like Jazz has just been giving horrible at bats. He's so crazy talented, but man, does he chase outside the zone. Big strikeout guy.
His brain, they're messing with his head.
And no Soler.
Oh,
That's why I was like looking at this and I was like, yeah, the model loves him, and I'm like, I hate this lineup. Like, all you have to be worried about today is like Luis Arias and Garrett Cooper, because then Brian De La Cruz can hit, but he's better against lefties. Yuli, like, you got to be slightly worried about him, but then like Gene Segura ain't hitting nothing. Jesus Sanchez, Chase Monster, Nick Fortes hitting 179, and Garrett Hampson has a home run and he's hitting 165. Like, this is not a good lineup. And then the Giants, are they baseball's worst against lefties?
49 WRC plus.
I mean, that is just pitiful. Like, Tyro Estrada is the guy, and JD Davis.
Yeah.
Like, if they sell, like, what do? You chalk it up.
I mean, yeah, it is, but it is. And get a little bit of Lizardo as well. I mean, how much I have to say about how well this guy's been looking.
No, but because some people, they're not familiar with the names. They're. I mean, a lot of these people are good baseball people, but like, let us know why you like Jesus Luzardo so much, because I agree with you.
So, usually a guy like this, Jesus Luzardo, I talked to Matt today actually about this. I'll get to that, but this is a guy's spot where I usually I need to find a spot to fade this guy. Yes, he's a good pitcher and he's potentially be a great pitcher, but he needs to come down to earth a little bit. And I just can't find that spot. Like, this guy is just really looking this freaking good right now. And it's I'm not gonna say he's become the next Sandy, but me and I were talking about this last year, how Sandy wasn't a big name coming in this season, right? I mean, not this season, last season. But he just looked like the best pitcher in baseball throughout the beginning all the way to the end of the season. So that first bit of it, you got tons of value on his lines. Like, let's say I bet you there's a good chance in about 4 months here in the exact same spot, the Marlins are exactly the model says, they're like minus 180. Like, this guy has a chance to be this freaking good and this highly valued. And this is a guy we're going to have to hit at these prices and try to back at these prices while we get it while we can. So I'm not going to try to find a fade spot, Jesus Lardo. I'm just going to keep betting him every single game in some way, shape, or form. And I'm going to make money because this guy is really freaking good. In this Giants lineup, he has there's 2 holes in his game so far this season. He's in the top 70th or 80th percentile about every single stat here on Baseball Savant, except for 2. He's the 59th percentile in walk rate. Giants don't walk, so that helps. And he is 56th percentile in barrel rate. Giants can't barrel lefties. So his 2 things, and he's not even bad in those spots. He's just above average, which is bad for his standards going into this season so far. And that's what the Giants are worse at. I think both these pitchers match up so freaking well with both these lineups, and I expect them both just to shove.
So I don't want to crap on the play, but what I do want to say is, because there's a question in chat, it's like, Peter, why are you not on this if you're backing it? And the reason I'm not on it is I am worried about Logan Webb. I am. He is one of those pitchers who we look at past year stats and it's yes, he should shove. And he continues to look poor. And Luzardo, I love. But at the same time, there's such a small margin of error here, considering that both teams are not very good on defense. Logan Webb is a big ground ball guy. So while I like the play, I do think it hits. Very small margin of error here for a 3.5. If I'm going to take a 3.5, which you cashed and you told me about, Gallen, Sandy, that was 3.5. That went under. It finished 1-0. Those 2 pitchers I can get behind. Then, of course, Sandy gave up 4 earned in the 6 innings, so you're clear. It didn't matter. And you cashed that. But this one, if I'm going to take an under in the first 5, 3.5, I got to be really confident about both pitchers, and I'm not confident about Logan Webb. And you're so confident in Luzardo, and I am too, but I'm curious, why not Marlins first 5?
Because I'm pretty confident Logan Webb's matchup today, to be honest with you, Peter. Like, granted, yeah, he's not looked that good this season, but he doesn't walk anybody. He pounds the strike zone. He induces a lot of chase, and against a Marlins lineup who doesn't walk and chases a lot. I think his matchup works well today. And like I said, I think he can. I'm not doing it. I don't have the balls, but I think a Logan Webb strikeout ladder is in play today. I genuinely do. So,
that's why I love doing this stream, because like we talk about why, like we get into the depths of the bet, like why truly you're not on Marlins first 5. Like for anybody listening, like I'm not taking it because of this, this, and this. Another question for you: why not Giants team total under through the first 5? Well, BetMGM unfortunately doesn't have team total first 5, so we can't accept those plays. But would you give that out? Like, do you think that's kind of a good matchup too? Or do you just think, I love Logan Webb, I love Jesus Luzardo, let's not get fancy, let's take the first 5 under?
So yeah, I mean, I like every under possible in the first 5 here. I think both these pitchers deal. The reason why I'm on this is I like both these pitchers deal. So I got this at plus 116 last night. Like I saw that, my eyes got all wide, and like as soon as I could. So I like in both these pitchers shove. And go back to you, Peter, again. Another thing, like how much trust do you have in these bats on either side against this split?
Not much. I mean, I do like the Marlins.
Howard Marlins lineup today, and we got this one. So
no Soler helps your case a lot. I will be honest. No Soler helps your case a lot because not only does he crush sinkers, one home run could change the game, and he's a guy who could hit a home run at any point. No Soler matters.
I fear De La Cruz as well. That guy's, I mean, he hits a home run every game I watch the Marlins. He doesn't hit a home run every game, but every time I decide to watch the Marlins, he does. So
I appreciate it, my man. Any other leans you had today that you just didn't place, but you're like, oh, it's kind of a decent play?
Oh, man, I really wanted to play under Brewers, but I don't know what it is. I'm just too scared. Another thing about, I want to fade 30, but this guy just doesn't care about your X stat.
No, he doesn't care.
He does. I mean, this board today is tough. I mean, I want it back with Sneski, but the A's are the best offense in baseball. I mean, I don't know what it is. This team just scores 9 runs every single game. I don't get it. This team,
Brent Rooker,
they suffer. They deserve to suffer. Their owner's a piece of shit. They don't do anything for this team. I feel so bad for their fans. They need to get to Vegas and meet. I can go on about the A's, but just a lot of weird games today, man. I might have to. I did this last year. Fell a similar spot. Dodgers look like shit. Mets just put up 1,000 runs a game. Coming to LA, I was gonna get cute and take the Mets. I'm just gonna back the best team in the NL. Well, they're not. I'm Braves are, but like they're up there.
Yeah, they are up there. I appreciate you, my man. There was one more question. What in the Brewers? Like, what did you say about the Brewers? I think your audio might have cut out a little bit.
I think the under. I think Corbin Burns shoves, and I think that bullpen's not going to be too much of a factor for the Brewers. I think he's going to go that deep. And, I mean, I think Chris Flexen, like I said, they're going to I think they're going to have a really short leash on him because, look, Castillo just went like 7 innings. They were blowing up the Rockies the game before that. We're using any high leverage arms. So they have a lot of well-rested arms in that Mariners bullpen. I think they get to that bullpen as soon as Flexen gets in any sort of trouble. They know the margin of error is so slim against Corbin Burns. And they got the healthy and rested arms to do it. So, I mean, healthy. The bullpen's deep. It's kind of banged up right now, but it's deep. And they still have a lot of really good arms in that bullpen. And they're all rested. So, I kind of like the under in that game, but I'm just scared of Mr. Chris Flexen giving up a 3-run home run to my man Willie Adames. So,
he's such a hard pitcher to back because you just never know. Oh, last question. Please ask him about Adames today. He is the whisperer, and that is confirmed accurate. You are the Willie Adames whisperer.
I mean, I don't like backing. This is Brewers. Another thing to add.
Don't take it. No, that's it. Because if you know what I'm saying, because if you're not on the Willie Adames train, I don't even want to go over it. Because when you text me in the morning, you're like Willie Adames today. I'm like, what? Over under, and then you have a hard stance. When you're in between, just don't take him, don't touch him. There's so many other players. I appreciate you, Jake.
Weeks here, so I get Adames props, boots on ground. So I'm pretty excited for that. I won't force it. If it's not, I play it, but hopefully it's there.
Trent's on the Adames over.
Why? Dude, okay. Can I tell people why I don't like it? Just
Sure.
to be safe.
Yeah.
So Willie Adames has been an insanely hot hitter this year. I mean, been one of the hotter hitters in baseball. But this is just kind of me just from like kind of just watching, checking his box score every single day last season. Um, I don't like his split. I don't like how he hits again on the road. And this Brewers lineup in general is not a good team hitting on the road. And one pitch he does struggle against is a cutter. And Chris Flexen, I don't think he even throws a slider, which is the pitch that Adames usually rakes. And I don't know. I mean, Chris Flexen's not good. He could easily hit a home run off one of his fastballs, but we're talking the full like pitch arsenal and then being on the road on top of it. I'm just scared to take it. Yeah, he's plus 210 to homer. He's probably hitting, but lines tell you he's gonna hit. But I'm looking at it just from a baseball sense. I'm not. I don't love it. I like it. I gotta love it. If you know what I mean. I gotta love it. Yeah.
That's all I needed to hear. No Willie Adames. We ain't telling him. Jake, welcome anytime, of course. Keep giving us winners. Appreciate you, my friend. All right. Next game up. Also, before we welcome our next person, let us know in the chat. Like, I love the questions and all this kind of stuff to make it kind of like that interactive experience. Like, let me know if you guys like to play, don't like to play, and I can ask like any questions you want cleared up. Like, if you love a play, like, let us know, right? If you hate it, let us know. If you have any questions, let us know. Put that in the chat. I love the communication so far that we're getting from people. And next up, Mr. California Wager, KBO legend, Mr. California Wager. We need a winner today. We got one from you yet last time. You gave out 3 plays, 2 of them hit, went up a unit. We were on a cold streak for a little bit, and now we're starting to roll. I'm excited what you got today, and you got 2 plays for us.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, obviously, our first play today got rained out, so
True.
we're getting that
So one play.
postponed. But yeah, we'll go with going with the Giants today. I like them first 5. As much as I look at the numbers in this game, I think this is a motivational kind of prove it for the Giants after blowing these 2 games in the end with just a couple heartbreakers. But I like having Logan Webb on the mound today. Obviously, the Giants are doing a great job against right-handed hitting this year, struggling heavily against left-handed hitting. Hopefully, that can change quickly. But
Wait,
I think as
just
much
to
as
clear
anything,
something
like
up.
I said,
Hold on, just
it's
to
a
clear
very
something up.
motivational spot for the Giants.
Hold on, just to clear something up. You said the Giants struggle against right-handed hitting. You mean pitching, like they struggle against.
Yes, excuse me.
Yeah, so they're struggling against lefties right now. You think they turn that around today?
I'm hoping that they do. You know, I think that obviously, as hot as they've been early against the opposite, I think that this will, find its way back to the median. And I'm hoping that today's finally like, let's get it right. Let's finish this. We've hit the ball well first couple of games of the series, and I'm hoping that they're able to take it today. Webb, I think his record this year has been a bit deceiving. He did look good against the Yankees, regardless of what the outcome was.
I agree.
He's looked pretty good overall this year. And I think that again, the numbers leaving themselves out. A couple tough luck losses, but I do like what I've seen from him. He's obviously going to be the future for the Giants, and he is the one of the few bright spots there.
So, you can tell people have been listening to the stream for a while, and they know that you're a Giants fan. But you are not just taking the Giants. You have come on stream and faded them multiple times. I've never even seen you on them. I've only seen you against them so far this season. People are saying, I just can't get behind the Giants. One last pitch. You're a Giants fan. You got a feeling. Last pitch like it's the last day of your life.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Oh, a little bad service right now for California Wager as he's about to give the pitch of his life. Oh, we're a little frozen here. Here, what we'll do.
We don't have anyone in queue yet.
Wait for a second. Abducted. Feel like that pushes. Margins are slim for the first 5, maybe 1-1 after 5. Could see that. I mean, Jake Hazen likes the under. I think we're going to have some people come on later and potentially give out the Marlins money line. It's kind of interesting. We'll try and get Greg back on in a second.
We got Aram hopefully in 5 minutes.
Arm in 5.
Tomas right after.
Tomas right after.
Mid-major.
Mid-major right after that.
That's
So we got more cappers coming on. Rays ML. R Clause 22. One of my favorite plays is the Reds through the first 5 innings. Come on, my man. They're making the Rays too easy for you. Let me check the line quickly on BetMGM. I want to see if we got line movement on our side. SF first 5 run line plus 1.5. Ooh, we got California wager back.
Oh, we do.
Greg, speak for a little. Let me see if I can hear you.
Yeah, you hear me?
Oh yeah, perfect. Awesome.
Yeah, apologies. I don't know. It just dropped all of a sudden.
You're all no good. Oh. Oh no. Robot voice.
I can't see. I don't see him.
Huh. All right. What did the model say on the Angel game? The model had the Angels as a slight favorite, and it thought the total was pretty spot on. So,
All right.
technically, I got it right. All right, we're bringing California wager back on. Please tell me I can hear you, Greg. Oh no, still robot voice.
He's got
All right, Greg, if you're listening, appreciate you. You're on the Giants. I mean, what I will say about Greg is every single time he's come on stream, not every time, but when he has Giants in a bet, he's faded them. Today he's taken them, and he is a Bay Area guy. He knows his team like the back of his hand. He's been winning, fading the Giants. I'm actually interested. I understand why he believes in Webb today, and it's not like the Marlins are that good anyway. But what I will say is the model loves the Marlins. Loves the Marlins. Jake's on the first 5 under. So basically what a lot of people are coming on here and saying is that not a lot of runs are going to be scored. So that first 5 under could be a look. I'm a little nervous about it. I'm a little nervous about Webb. And I almost think to myself, is Luzardo pitching too well? Right? Because it's early on in the season. Guys aren't going to have a 0 ERA forever. Right? I think I faded Luis Castillo in a matchup and it hit through the first 5. Not every time like these guys just roll through, right? Appreciate you, Greg. Pirates are sneaky good. Pirates first 5 yesterday? Who was on that? Let me know in the chat. Who was on Pirates first 5 yesterday with me? It's so sus. Webb 0-3 is going to win eventually. That's what I'm saying too. It's weird. It's a weird game. And Luzardo isn't Randy Johnson. You're right. Thoughts on Rockies team total over? Rich Hill is a poo-poo slinger. Isn't that too easy? What I will say is the model likes the under in the full game. They have the Rockies. Remember, first games in Coors are always weird. They have the Rockies scoring 4.67 runs. On BetMGM right now, let's see what the Rockies team total is. Let's see.
Tomas is on his way, by the way.
Okay. The Rockies team total, like under 5.5 is plus 110. And I'm not saying it's going to hit, but what I am saying is the model shows a lot of value on it. Is it almost too easy to just go over on Rockies? I don't know. I'm not going to touch it, but Cubs look good. They're 8-1 their last 9. First series of the game. That's a cool trend. I didn't know that. All right, Tomas is coming on.
Oh, Tomas is not on.
Let's see. We got the man, the myth, the legend. How are you, my friend? Coming off.
Doing good.
How was your weekend? Picks were a little iffy.
Mid. It was mid.
Yeah, you
It was
didn't
mid.
really lose. You didn't really win.
No.
What I like to say is when I go like even or when I go like up 0.2 units or down 0.2 units, I'm like, I just had fun watching baseball today.
That's the best way to put it, Peter. No one else has explained it to me that way, but that's exactly what I did.
I like
this
to. I
week.
just
would
like
watch baseball.
I bet money. I didn't really lose or win anything, and I got to bet, and I didn't lose much. Like that's awesome. That's a win.
I'll take it. And now we got a new week, so let's start the week off with some winners.
Before you even start, I want to go over your record because it's awesome, and it just kind of fires me up. He won 3.22 units on opening day. Then he won 2.4. Then he won 0.9. Then he won 0.9 again. Then he won 5 units. Then he won 1.91. Then he won 0.15. But then, down 1.75, down 3.98. So you are so due. Because overall, you got weekend picks. You've been doing great. Just on stream, rattled off 7 positive days in a row, then down 2 days in a row. Now we got 3 bangers. Actually, technically just 1 or 2, excuse me, because 1 got rained out already, but you were on the under in Tigers versus Guardians. Let's start with the Cubs, because this game everyone's talking about. Like, what do we do with the Cubs? And our guy, one of the hottest batters on planet Earth, is on the Cubs. Tell us why.
I'm on the Cubs, and it's such a square play. It's such a square play, and I know that when you look at the line where it's that one, I saw it at like 136, maybe minus 140, like 2 hours ago. It might have went down for all I know.
It's minus 135 now.
135. So yeah, it went down like 2-3 cents, I think, since the last time I saw it. I have it at minus 139. And when I look at this game, I think Wisniewski is so due. He's had 2 back-to-back starts that just were really shaky. I mean, that last one, was it like 7 runs he allowed in not even 2 innings, and the Cubs came back and won. But I like what the Cubs did offensively this past weekend against the Dodgers. And coming into this game, it's not like it's a crazy road trip for them. They're going from LA to Oakland. And also, too, when I look at this Athletics team, they can't score. They can't score. I watched almost that whole series this past weekend with the Mets. The Mets also can't score besides that opening, the first game of the series, I believe it was on Friday. But getting the Cubs at this value at a minus 135, minus 140, it's too much for me to pass up. It could be the square play like we've talked about before. It could be too good to be true, but I'm not going to not pull the trigger on this bet considering I'm fading the worst team in all of baseball.
You love fading the A's. I think every single time
they have 3 wins. Why did they have 3 wins?
And you know what's so funny too is like, I'm watching all these different games. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember Tomas is on the Orioles or something against the A's, and the A's go up 3, and I'm like, this is the time they finally get him. Then like I'll go watch another game 2 innings later, the Orioles are winning 9-3, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, no shit. The A's are so bad, but they're at home. Sometimes they have this weird thing. The reason I'm worried about this Cubs bet, and the reason I'm not on the Cubs today, is Wisniewski's fastball looks objectively worse. Like, it doesn't have the same run that it did. But then again, like, I was on the A's against the Mets with Jose Budo. And, like, Jose Budo threw 5 innings of 1-run ball. And he's way worse than Wisniewski, even with no fastball. So, like, and also, shout out Ty, subscribing. Thanks, Beast. But, Tomas, keep going over the Cubs for your last points, then we'll get to your next pick.
And also, too, I mean, let's get real. Oakland's lineup, besides Brent Rooker, where timeout, take a second to appreciate what this guy has done.
Could he be the next Joey Meneses?
Potentially. Really. I mean, this guy came. I think it was last week when they were playing the Orioles. Every time I was watching him play, I go, who is this Brent Rooker guy hitting home runs left and right, hitting doubles, ball in the gaps? I was like, I was afraid that he was going to be the reason I was going to lose my bets against the A's because he was producing offensively. That's the only guy in this lineup that I would say that I would worry about. But again, they can't hit. They have 3 wins. They have the worst bullpen in baseball, and I'm just going to take the Cubs. Like I said, it could be the square play, but at this minus 139, minus 140, minus 135, that's just so much value because I really do like the Cubbies this year. They're going to make some noise. Do not be surprised if the Cubs start shaking things up in the NL Central.
I love it, my man. Great sell. But let's move on to your next play because it ain't just got one for us today. Giants money line. This game is fascinating. We just keep talking over and over. Cali wagers on Giants first 5. You're on Giants money line. Jake Hazen is on the under in this game. Why are the Giants going to beat the Marlins today and Jesus Luzardo?
So first off, the reason I think the first way that I see this is I'm backing Logan Webb in the start. And I've backed Jesus Luzardo before because I think he has pitched phenomenal, really slid in as the number 2 guy in Miami right now. But for Logan Webb, he's had, back-to-back starts where it was like, you expect something better from him at least at this point in the season. I think for his 3rd start, he's going to get done. Also, too, extra day of rest. I think that's a huge aspect to this game because that Tigers game got rained out yesterday. Also, too, when I look at the Giants, the reason why I'm now in the first 5 is because I trust their bullpen better than I do Miami's. And that's the only part that scares me because I know Luzardo's a good pitcher. I like Jake with that under the first 5 under. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game, but I do like the Giants, especially if they match up against this Miami bullpen versus the other way around. Also, too, 43% of the tickets are on the Giants money line, but they are receiving 66% of the money. I do like that in my own retrospect. Also, too, Logan Webb, career 2.55 ERA against Miami. I see him having a huge start today. I'm talking we're going to see the Logan Webb that we saw 2 years ago. Let's go, G-Men.
I love it. And Logan Webb was good last year. Like, everyone's like, oh, he kind of felt like, what, did he have a 2.8 last year? I mean, he wasn't as explosive, but
yeah,
I agree. And, as a Yankee fan, I watched that start because I watch all the Yankee games, and I hate watching them, even though they sometimes win, but they piss me off too much. But I watched that Logan Webb start against the Yankees, and 12 Ks, look good, some tough batted ball luck, some ground balls that went through the hole. He pitched better than that stat sheet said, and I think he turns in a good day today too. This game is giving me headaches. I can't figure it out. So I'm glad that everyone else has a pick on it because I'm staying far away because I can't. I have no idea.
That's how I feel about the Astros that you have today. I know you're on Houston.
So
I was at the game.
Yeah,
I was at that game last night, Peter, and I'm on your side now. I am no longer going to touch the Houston Astros in any form. I am not going to bet on them. I am going to watch them. I'm done. I don't know nothing about this team right now.
The more you watch your own team, the more you develop biases. And it's the reason you can cap other teams well is because you follow the data and you look at it through a betting lens, and just instinctively you're going to look through your team with biases. And I can't bet on the Yankees. I went 1-6 last year. I was down 5.5 units. And I'm if I didn't bet on the Yankees last year, I would have been up 50 units last year. But I did, and now I'm not.
That's how I feel right now. I'm 0-5. 0-5 betting the Astros. I'm pretty sure they've lost me 5 units as well. So
it's just not worth it. There's 29 other teams. But today, though,
today, do you know what, Peter? The crazy thing is I do like them today. I saw
that's either a good thing or a horrible thing.
Yeah, I do like them today, especially after that disappointing start. Just that disappointing loss yesterday against the Rangers. I was at the game and it was unbelievable. I was I can't believe they just lost this game. A series to the Rangers where I came on here last week and said they always beat the Rangers,
but they do.
That's what I'm saying. It's unbelievable how this team cannot score at all. I mean, Framber Valdez gives you 6 innings of, I think it was he had 1 or 2 hits, had 7 strikeouts, and you can't score 1 run to give him any type of run support. Ridiculous. But I see Jose Barrios not having the same type of start he had last week against the Rays. I like the Stros for you tonight, Peter.
Appreciate you, my man. Thank you for coming on, and we'll talk to you soon, all right?
Yes, sir.
Talk to you, my man. We got Arm's ready, but before we welcome on Arm, shout out you, Ty. You've made me plenty of coin and taught me a ton about betting on baseball. Thank you for that, Ty. That's my only goal here. I just want to win together and just talk ball, right? Appreciate you, Ty, for subbing. You're a GOAT. Glad to see you here. Glad to see you all here, even if you don't sub. Just glad that we all get to talk baseball together. It's a beautiful day, even though it's raining in half the country, but it's beautiful in theory. Love you guys. Let's welcome on Arm. Arm Layton. Arm Layton, how are you, my friend? What's going on, dude?
Nothing like following up some guy pitching. I shouldn't say some guy. Tomas, one of the hottest bettors on the planet, like you've mentioned, pitching the complete opposite thing I'm about to just pitch to our viewers here, to your viewers. So
Marlins.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, this game, before you even begin, Jake's on the under through the first 5. Cali wagers on the Giants through the first 5. Tomas is on the Giants. And you're on the Marlins. So you're literally going to hear every angle possible on this game. That's why I love this stream so much. Give us the pitch on the Miami Marlins. And you're a Marlins guy.
It sounds like a good time for me to gain some units on the competition here, right? So here's my thing. Most of the time when I bet Marlins, it's a fade because there's one thing I know about this team is when they're going to lose. Mm-hmm. This is one of the very, very few teams I'm betting on them. And I am nervous, to Tomas's point, if it gets to the bullpen, I'm a little bit nervous at that point. But the Marlins bullpen's actually held up pretty well. I'll tell you why I'm doing it, and it's really mostly because
audio's coming in and out.
The Giants are going to do anything.
Wait, hold on, Arm. Just start over a little bit. Your audio just cut out a little bit right there.
How am I doing now?
Now you sound great.
Beautiful, beautiful. I think my computer's getting like real hot. I got like 40 tabs open. One of them is Fangraphs. You know how that works.
Oh yeah,
So,
I just have to delete for some reason it just soaks all my data.
You
Like,
can't have Fangraphs.
I start seeing like pictures of myself when I was younger. Like it somehow gets downloaded into Fangraphs. It just soaks up all the data.
They
on my
download
computer.
everything. So I'm closing as many tabs as I can right now. But if I sound good, basically, the way I look at it is the Marlins only need to score a couple runs. I don't have a lot of faith in this Giants lineup doing much against Jesus Luzardo. Against lefties this year, the Giants have a 541 OPS. 541 OPS. And now you're facing arguably one of the nastiest lefties in baseball so far this year. I don't think Luzardo is going to slow down at all, and at home he's even tougher. Then you have the addition by subtraction of Avi Garcia just not being in the lineup. I will not bet on the Marlins when Avi Garcia is in the lineup. He's out of the lineup. I would plug any minor leaguer in there, and I think that's a bonus. They've got Brian De La Cruz. They've got some other guys that are going to plug in. I think Jazz Chisholm's due. He had some good at-bats last game. He got hosed on a couple bad calls. I think he's going to put together some good ABs, and he usually hits well against guys like Logan Webb, kind of sinker baller types. But for the most part, I just think Jesus Luzardo is going to absolutely shove. I'm going to try to take his player props too. I admittedly have not seen what he's at on Prize Picks and stuff like that, but if it's somewhat reasonable, I would love to hear what that is, because I want to get your thoughts on that. I think he's going to absolutely shove.
His lines are insane. 7 strikeouts, a 38.5 fantasy score, and his line is at 1.5 earned runs. I mean,
I like the 7 strikeouts, man.
Yeah, but
Dude,
it did go down.
97.
I think it went down from 7.5.
Kind of like it. We'll see. But regardless, I really, really like Luzardo in this one. I think he's going to take care of business, and hopefully the Marlins can just scrape for a couple runs. That's, I think, all they're going to need.
I love it, man. I mean, like, I'm so glad a bunch of people have picks on this game because I have no idea. Like, I'm worried about Logan Webb. And at the same time, like, I think he's due, but I'm worried about him. So I'm so in between. The model loves the Marlins. Loves them. Like, is gushing over them. But I'm almost thinking, like, is it too easy? Like, Luzardo has been unhittable and the Giants just are terrible against lefties. But that just might be the case. And I don't know. It's so early. It's just, it has my brain in a blender.
We were talking about in the Just Baseball show today too, like this Giants lineup, especially without Jock, who also would have been struggling against lefties. No Haniger. Crawford's been a disaster. Like, I hate this lineup. So anytime they face a pretty, it's Confort. What? Sorry, what was that?
I don't even think Conforto's in the lineup. No, he's not even in the lineup.
Dude, when this team's facing a decent pitcher, I just don't like him. I'm fading him.
Huh. I think it's smart. I don't know which side, but let's get to your next play. I want to talk about the Houston Astros.
I spelled it wrong too by accident.
Producer Cohen spelled it wrong, but don't blame him. Let's talk Astros.
Did I spell it wrong in there?
No, we did. It's on us.
Oh, we did. I wouldn't have been surprised. I was flying the picks in early, but dude, the Astros have been a weird team. You guys were just talking about it. I think they're a very, very interesting team. But I just feel like anytime you get the opportunity to bet on the Houston Astros at even or plus money with Christian Javier on the bump at home, I'm going to take it. And this is just more of a value play for me. They're 7-9. I feel like they're going to start turning things around. Yes, the Blue Jays are good, but I feel like when Christian Javier is on, it doesn't really matter. Kevin Gausman's been solid. I feel like the Astros, this has got to be the kind of turnaround point for them, a home series against a team that I think is a really good measuring stick. And you got Javier. If it was minus 130 or minus 140, of course I wouldn't touch it, but I'm getting even odds on the Houston Astros at home with Javier on the bump. I literally by rule, I have to take that.
First of all, one of my 3 favorite plays today. Absolutely love it. Do you know what happened with the line? So it opened at minus 110 on both sides. Like Blue Jays, that's what it was before Sunday Night Baseball. Because that's what I love to do is, my Sunday Night Baseball system. And I want to see the 2 teams where they're both at before Sunday Night Baseball begins. So it's minus 110 on both sides. Rangers blew out the Astros, and it went to plus 110. And what I said on Dub Club to my subscribers, and I'm like, we're going to be on the Astros, but I want to wait because I want people to pile on the Blue Jays and it to go up to plus 115. People did pile on the Blue Jays, down to plus 105. This is where I grabbed it. Now it's at plus 100. I love the Astros.
I love that. I didn't know that. I mean, and that's the thing about it. Like, yesterday's game got away from them, sure. They won the game before that 8-2. I know they lost the one before that, dropped the series to the Rangers, but 2 out of 3 from the Pirates, won the last game of the series against the Twins. Like, I honestly think they're getting going here. And again, this is one where, you really have to get your measuring stick out against the Blue Jays and see how you compete, because the Blue Jays are playing pretty well. But yesterday's game has no bearing on it to me. Like, they just won 8-2 on Saturday. So I feel
love
like
that
this is
they
going to be a
lost
close
yesterday.
one.
I love it.
Sorry?
I love
yeah,
they
I
lost
love it
yesterday.
too.
Like, I have an angry Astros team at home that just got embarrassed in front of the country. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll take them at plus money. Like, take my unit if the Astros lose this game too. Like, then,
That's the thing.
I mean, that's on them. That's not on us. It's on
I'll
them.
I'll lose the unit. And the last game that was in Texas, right?
Yep.
So I mean, I like them back at home. It's not like it was a long trip home.
And Blue Jays just had
and
a
I think
tough
it'll be-
series against the Rays, right? They got to travel from Toronto to Houston with no off day. It's a tough, also, crazy thing about win-loss records. Jose Barrios went 12-7 with a 5.23 ERA. Kevin Gausman went 12-10 with a 3.31. Blue Jays, Kevin Gausman is one of the league leaders in a lack of run support. And it's happening again this year. Blue Jays don't hit when he's pitching. I don't know why.
This is so weird.
So weird.
That is really weird.
We'll take it.
I love it, especially from the fact that they're literally going from Arlington to Houston. While you just mentioned the Blue Jays had to come all the way from Toronto down to Houston. So I like it for them.
Awesome, my man. Next play, because it ain't over. And you're going against Colby. You're taking the Snakes.
Yeah.
Merrill Kelly backing, fading Flaherty. What's up?
Yeah. I'm fading Flaherty 100%. He looked good last game though. I will say he in Coors, which is exactly why he's going to stink away from Coors. Like it makes too much sense. But honestly, the inconsistency of Flaherty. Merrill Kelly's looked like on brand Merrill Kelly, which is just high 3s, low 4s ERA, get out.
Overperforming every time.
Like at plus 130. This is one of the few times where I really went all into the value, and I just like the value of each of the picks. If I'm gonna get plus 135, I think was the exact number I got it at for the D-backs in a game where this is a team that hasn't totally put it together offensively, but I think against Jack Flaherty's the perfect time to do it. Bad fastball, command's been a little bit off. The Cardinals I'm keep waiting for them to put it together. Last time I was on the stream, I'm like, this is their coming out party. It wasn't. I feel like Merrill Kelly can keep him in check, and I don't have a lot of confidence in Jack Flaherty. When you have a pitcher that's kind of been as iffy at points as Jack Flaherty has, and I get to take the other side at plus 135, and it's not like they're rolling out Dre Jameson or a little bit more of a wild card. Merrill Kelly's pretty steady. I feel good about it. So the value there was just too much for me.
Before you leave, I'm going to read you the Cardinals lineup, and I want you to say what jumps out at you, because there is a glaring obvious thing that was typed in chat. Leading off, Brendan Donovan, Alec Burleson, Wilson Contreras, Nolan Arenado, Nolan Gorman, Tyler O'Neill, Lars Nootbaar, Jordan Walker, Tommy Edman. No MVP.
Like what's Oh, no Goldie?
No Goldie today.
Oh, give it to me.
Yep.
Give it to me.
Yep.
It's a wrap. I might put 2 units.
And Arizona has Gabby Moreno and Pavin Smith in the lineup.
Ooh, Pavin Smith's in there.
Pavin Smith. Remember him at Virginia?
He doubled last game.
He did double. He has doubled before. That's a fact. He's hitting 333. 515.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
It already paid.
I love it, my man. And what's kind of cool is you and Colby can both win technically. Let's say Cardinals are up 3-2 after 5. Diamondbacks come back because the Cardinals bullpen has been shaky. That's why I kind of like Diamondbacks through the full game over the first 5. Because, Diamondbacks bullpen hasn't been great, but I ain't confident about this. I mean, I've been fading the Cardinals now for a couple times. I took the Pirates.
And that's the one thing is if Jack Flaherty does that escape act that he's been doing, that's fine. But he'll be done in 5. You're tossing it over to the bullpen really early. So looking at it from that lens, like Flaherty's been pretty inefficient. Like he could go 5 innings, 6 walks, 2 Ks, no runs. That's fine. Kick it over to the bullpen in the 6th and see how it goes. I think this is kind of where the D-backs get the offense going a little bit after, not totally hitting the way they should in Miami, but I think they're going to get it rolling now.
Appreciate. What'd you, Jack, talk about on the Just Baseball show today?
What do we talk about on the Just Baseball show today?
You just recorded it. You have no idea. Just blacked out.
Zach Neto promotion.
Okay.
What else do we have?
Dude can't hit.
Joey
Why do
Votto
you-
might be cooked.
Yeah. Why do you guys like Zach
Shoot,
Neto?
what
He
else-
only has 1 hit in 3 games. I thought
Yeah,
he
I
was
know.
supposed to be good.
He's a bust.
Yeah.
He's an absolute bust. We hit on what? I don't even know, man. I kind of blacked out. It was good though. I promise. It was a fun episode. You should definitely listen to it.
I'll be listening. Appreciate you, my man. So your plays are you have the Marlins money line at -125. You got Houston money line at +100. And you got Diamondbacks money line at +135. 2 dogs, 1 favorite. Let's have a day. Atta baby kid.
Jazz Chisholm goes yard today. Salute.
Talk to you soon, brother. All right, do we got mid-major in the queue?
No response from him to that.
Oh, let me send him a text.
I pinged him 15 minutes ago, too.
You coming on? Any questions in the chat that I can answer, at least in the meantime? Mets, Dodgers thoughts? I think the Mets are a little too cheeky of a dog, kind of a public dog. Like, it's like, oh, like, we're split. But it's so tough. Cohen, you're a Mets fan. What do you think today? Mets, Dodgers.
I like Dustin May a lot.
He likes Dustin May. And you're a guy who I asked over under 110.5 wins, and you said definitely.
This just isn't one of the 110.
Yeah, we're going 110 and 52, and like this is one of 52. Yeah. Producer Cohen is a huge Mets fan and doesn't like his team today.
Don't love my team.
Don't love his team. Like them. Like they'll win. Yeah. yeah. First one of the year, D-backs for sure not hitting. Jaden, why you say that? Why are D-backs for sure not hitting? It's kind of interesting though. Colby's on Cardinals first 5. Arm's on Diamondbacks through the full game. Who are you tailing? Who do you like? Sounds like Frank the Tank. Just getting run up on. All right, if mid-major doesn't show up in the next 30 seconds, we'll just go over his. I'm reading this text from Jack. Peter asked Arm what Arm and I talked about on the Just Baseball show. Arm had no clue. Shout out Jack McMullen. Hopefully he got his taxes done, you freaking nerd. I like the D-backs pitch. Yeah, I think it's smart. Do you think the Cardinals will start turning their year around? I mean, it's all in the backs of pitching, right? I mean, it's like, who are you going to, Cardinals fans, who are you going to game 1 of a playoff series? Waino? Flaherty? Michaelis? Matz? Monty? There's some depth there, but it's like no one who I'm like super excited about, right? D-backs with the better pitcher, Goldie not in the lineup, and they're +140. Nope. What I will say, Jaden, is I don't know if they have the better pitcher. Is Merrill Kelly better than Jack Flaherty? And the Cardinals are a perceived better team, and they're at home. I don't think the line is weird. I think it's priced appropriately. Like, I don't see value on either side. I'm not on the Cardinals or the D-backs, but I don't think it's a sketchy line. Like, if you asked, and this is how I think about it, and DeGen is actually, he's great. If you ask 10 people on the street today, how many of them are taking the Cardinals? 7 of them, right? Better team at home. It's Jack Flaherty. Everyone hates Merrill Kelly. I don't think it's that weird. Do I see value on either side? No. Do I think it's weird? Not particularly. All right. Mid-major ain't coming, I guess.
We'll do his picks here.
We'll go through his picks, though.
He had the Guardians under first 5.
Yeah, the Guardians under first 5. Got postponed.
Miami Giants first 5 under 300.
Oh, so he's on this. Oh, my. What is with this Miami Giants game? Everyone just needs to play this game? Like.
2 units also.
2-unit bomb for mid-major on the first 5 under. What? People like it that much? Am I missing something here? Let me know in chat. Am I missing something here? Is it just like that's the play? Am I overthinking it? Should I already been on this? Can you please let me know in chat like what you guys think? Are you definitely tailing this? Are you fading it? Or are you just staying away? Like what? That's the play from Jake Hazen. That's his play. Thank you.
Oh, wait. Jake Hazen with the same play.
Yeah. Interesting. I do really love the under. It might just be the play. Might just be the play. So that'll do it for this Monday, April 17th stream of Not Gambling Advice. Definitely appreciate you guys all coming along. Remember, no Prize Picks entries today, but if you still want to download Prize Picks, if you're still new to the Prize Picks game, download it. Use code JustBaseball. Best daily fantasy app. If you use code JustBaseball, you get a 100% deposit match. Whatever you deposit, they will match up to $100. No brainer if you haven't downloaded it yet. We will have plenty of props this season, but we have to remember one thing.